Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to Vlogmas. Today is a book haul. This is probably my last major book haul for 2022. Now I will probably get I'm gonna get some books for Christmas. I'm gonna consider that a separate thing. These are enough books, you can see from where my hand is, that have piled up that I need to do a book haul. And then I will probably do one Christmas book haul, I don't know, maybe the end of this month. Hopefully not another Vlogmas video, but maybe. And then I have some plans for the new year that I will talk about that will hopefully limit the book buying. I have a plan, I have a goal. But you guys know that New Year's is when my goal videos happen, so you will hear that then. And this video is being sponsored by Book of the Month. If you can't tell, I have the flu. So you will not be seeing my face for this little Book of the Month ad. We're trying our best, you know, we have festivities. You guys know Book of the Month. If you are not familiar, Book of the Month is an online subscription service for readers. Every month their team curates a selection of books for you to choose from, so you don't have to do as much digging. Book of the Month is risk-free and you can skip any month at any time and not be charged. Plus, this month they are running a special offer for new members to get your first hardcover book for just $5 with the code WONDER. So this month my picks were Kiss Her Once for Me. This is a holiday romance. It has fake dating. It has a bisexual main character. It has a ton of tropes in it, and I love a good romance trope. So this spoke to me for the holiday season. My next pick was The Circus Train, and I am not usually a big historical fiction reader, but circuses are my exception. So if you're interested in checking out Book of the Month for yourself, check out all the information in the description. But yeah, these are some books that I've acquired over the last 4 or 5 months. Summer, it's been since summer. So in the grand scheme of things, not that many things, but let's get into it. First, I just picked up today, it's volume 7 of Saga. I went to a local bookstore, used bookstore, and they had a graphic novel section I looked through, and I was looking for Monstrous, and they didn't have any Monstrous, but they had Saga, and they had like One Wicked and the Divine, but it was like the first volume, so I couldn't get more of that. But I do want to check back at used bookstores for graphic novels specifically, because I find graphic novels to be so expensive, but cheaper and usually in decent condition, like this one is, when you get them from a used bookstore. So, volume 7. Do I need to reread Saga? Because I don't remember basically anything that happened? Yes. Maybe that'll happen next year. Then I have a book I picked up in Scotland. I think I've seen it around besides in the UK, but they were really pushing this in Scotland because it's by a Scottish author. I can hear a child screaming, and I didn't think any children lived in my building. Maybe they're in the hallway. They're in the house now. If that's the kind of breakdowns that kid has, I'm surprised I haven't heard them before. Wow. But anyway, the book I was going to talk about was Hare House by Sally Hinchcliffe. And this is a Scottish Gothic, I think Gothic romance, kind of? It's maybe Gothic horror. It takes place in southwest Scotland. This woman moves into a cottage on the property of like the remote state of Hare House. She strikes up a friendship with the landlord and his sister, but then starts to figure out that like something isn't quite right. The thing that really got me though is this line of the synopsis, and that's where I was like, I'm gonna get this, because I kept seeing it on tables like everywhere, and again, it's Scottish and whatever, it was good for the trip. But for among the rolling moors and dark forests are the whispers of witchcraft and local tales of young men sent mad. Hell yeah. Then this little bookish gift, Sarah Jane saved this for me and gave this to me when I was visiting, but it's this Night Circus bookmark from Illumicrate, so thank you for that, Sarah Jane. Then in Dublin, I picked up the UK version of Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. I knew it was something with a B. I like this cover better. I like the American cover fine, but this cover I like a lot. And this is a standalone, I think he might be writing a sequel or something in the same world, like Companion, whatever. But this is a cozy fantasy. That's all I know, that's all I care about. Then, this is a big one in a lot of ways. I almost feel bad showing this to you guys, but then I don't. A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. Yes, they reached out to me and they're like, do you want a copy of this? And I was like, absolutely. So this is an arc of the book that comes out in, I believe, February. This is the prequel sort of companion to Priory of the Orange Tree. So you don't have to have read Priory of the Orange Tree. I read it and really loved it. I would like to reread it, but I don't know if I'll get it reread before this because this is giant. But I don't need to because it's a prequel, but it takes place in the same world at a different time, and I'm very excited. Will I get to this before February? Hopefully. But it's a beast. Then another arc I was sent was Lost in the Moment and Found by Shauna McGuire. This comes out in January. It is book, I have it on there which one it is in the series. No, they don't mark the spines, which is unfortunate. Book 9 maybe? 8, 9 of the Wayward Children series. So one of my favorite novella series, and I've recently caught up, so going to continue with this. Then Orbit reached out to me about the sequel to this book and then sent me both. Anyway, I'll get to it. This is a series that I have had people recommend me a lot, especially on like my Discord and stuff. It's The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, and then book 2, The Liar's Knot. So they reached out about this one and I was like, I haven't read the first one. They're like, we can send it to you. And I was like, great. So this is this the one? Oh my gosh, I can't even fully remember. Yeah, it's the Brooke and Rose trilogy. Someone was talking to me about this a lot like a few months ago, and now my brain has totally forgotten like all the details. This follows a con artist who is trying to trick her way into a noble home for reasons. I also think that someone said that this has something to do with like witchy stuff, like there's like tarot cards or something, possibly with magic. I forget if that's this series or not, but I was talking about it a lot with people for a while, and it's a honking epic fantasy series. So I'm excited about the things that I know about this. A lot of times when I'm recommending books, and you guys know this because I've talked about it before, I'll be recommending something and I'm like, yes, excited, vibes, and then I'll forget what it's about. And that's how I like to go into things. Yeah, I think this will be good based on what people have said about it. Although I have heard some people be like, I don't like that series because everything is subjective, but I think I'm gonna like it. Then I was reached out to about another series, which I should have really read before I went to Edinburgh because it takes place there. But that is The Library of the Dead and Our Lady of Mysterious Ailments by Teal Hucho. And like I said, this takes place in Edinburgh, which I was just visiting, and follows a girl who can talk to ghosts. And it's like an urban fantasy series that takes place in Edinburgh. So I think this is going to be lovely. I've heard some good things about this series as well, so I'm excited to see what this is and how this unfolds. And you guys know I love a good urban fantasy series. And lastly, the final arc I was sent. Again, these are all books people reached out to me about, and I was like, yes, because I already heard about them. You guys know I don't just talk about unsolicited things that I get sent. But Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. This is coming out in April of 2023, and this sounds so good. I think it's gonna be the first book, I don't think it's a standalone, I think it's gonna be the first book in a epic sci-fi like space opera series. Follows the main character of Kier, who's been trained to avenge the murder of planet Earth. So humanity was almost basically wiped out by a reality shaping weapon that I think was like harnessed by aliens. And she ends up having to team up with a friend of her brother and like a rogue alien, basically. I don't know, it sounds really good. I think this is queer. I mean, I don't know. Olivia Blake and Tamsin Muir both blurbed it. So that just makes me think that it might be queer. Either way, I think this is gonna be really good. So I'm very excited. It's one of my most anticipated books for the beginning of next year. So those are all the books that I've gotten in the last handful of months. Like I said, I'll probably have a Christmas book haul, although I don't want a ton of books for Christmas this year. I really don't, because again, I have goals for next year. So let me know if you have thoughts about any of the books that I just talked about. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.